And if God has felt really far from you lately, like you're going through the motions and words just aren't coming, well, this next 15 minutes is for you. We're not going to talk about prayer today. We're actually going to do it with our hands, with a glue stick and a pen. And we're going to do it in real time. So go and grab yourself your journal. I've got my journal here, and I've got one down there as well, my sketchbook. And then you grab your glue stick, a pen, any old magazines. I've got some magazines here. So grab some magazines if you can, and a nice cup of tea. I've got my cup of tea. And tell me in the chat where you are tuning in from. This is live. I'm Bev Jessup, and welcome to today's live stream. So excited you're here. Let me know in the chat where you are tuning in from. So I don't want you to overthink all this. Just grab whatever's near you, and I'm going to show you a piece that I made this week, and then we're going to make something together. I'm going to give you some journaling prompts. And hello, Daphne. Welcome. Daphne is from Greater Manchester. Lovely to see you. I can see there are others as well tuning in today. So welcome, everyone. So I'm going to share what I did earlier this week. Please bear with the footage because it's a little bit blurry, but hopefully you can get the gist of what it's all about. Let me know in the chat or in the comments whether there's any favourite pen that you have. I've got here my drawing. It's a Pilot drawing pen. It's very fine. And it's waterproof, so that'd be really good when I do watercolors. So I hope you can see it now. Can you all see it? Let me know in the chat if you can see it. Hello, Jen. Jennifer is from Colorado. Lovely to see you. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen now, and we're going to take 6 minutes. If you want in this time to actually do some crafty things, if you're part of the Sketch and Collage Collective, then get your bits and pieces together, or grab a magazine and whatever you want to cut out. Yeah, I've got my scissors here. I do like tearing things out, actually. I like that raw edge around pictures sometimes. We've got Lisa from Cedar Falls in the USA. So yeah, great. Let's get started. You can see my screen. Hello and welcome. I want to walk you through a page I made this week because I think the way it came together might be more useful to you than the finished thing itself. I'd already done the bird before I sat down. That was from an earlier session, just a bird, nothing planned. And I'd written the fruits of spirit on washi tape and laid those down too. You know, that washi tape came from the September folio. Anyway, love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. Just written out by hand on the tape. Both of these pieces, the bird I copied from the September folio and the washi tape, was used. And I want you to notice that I didn't start from a blank page. I started from things I'd already made. That's permission, by the way. You don't have to begin from nothing. The envelope is one of the designs in the folio too. There are actually 20 different envelope designs in there. And this one I cut out and assembled myself. It sits on the page and it holds my prayers. Actual folded bits of paper with things I've asked God for and talked to God about. I've just written them on washi, sort of post-it notes really, and put them in this envelope. And there's something about writing a prayer down and putting it somewhere rather than just thinking it and letting it float off. It has a home now. I can come back to it. I can open it up in 6 months and I can see what he did with it. The rest of these are just cuttings from the magazine. Nothing precious, nothing brought from the purpose, from whatever you have on the pile. Now, here's what's got really interesting. As I was working on this section, I noticed I wasn't really present. My head was completely somewhere else. It's autumn. It's mentally listing everything I had to do in the garden, cutting back, clearing, planting for the spring. And then I looked down at the cutting in my hand and it literally said autumn jobs, which made me laugh, honestly, because there it was, the distraction right there on the page. And there are so many distractions in this world. And I sat with that for a second and I thought, yes, but I also need to focus on what God is telling me to do, not what the garden's telling me to do. Both things are true, and one of them has to lead. Then I did the doodling of the waves, and that was just line work, up and down, no plan behind it. But as I was drawing it, I thought about the ups and downs of life, how they're never a flat line, and how through all of that, God is always holding me. Not just at the top of the wave, through the whole shape of it. And then the boat. I'd cut that shape out earlier without knowing why. And once it was down, it took me straight to Peter. Peter like stepping out the boat, in Matthew. That fear of leaving the safe thing. And I know that feeling of being scared to step out. But that's why I drew the eye, because God sees all. He sees the water, he sees the boat, he sees me hesitating in it. And I want to be mindful of what he sees, not anxious about it, mindful of it. And then the last piece, are you not more worthy than they? That's from the same passage about the birds of the air. And that word valuable really landed on me, because I don't always feel valuable, but feelings aren't the measure of it. So I wrote it out. I'm skilled, I'm precious, I'm anointed, I'm chosen, I'm loved. And there are scriptures behind every one of those. They're not just nice words I made up to feel better. So that's the page, and I want you to hear that I'm actually saying underneath all of this, I didn't sit down with a plan. I sat down with a few pieces I already made and some magazine cuttings, and I let my hands go first and my head caught up afterwards. And the distraction became part of it. The wobbly lines became part of it. The bit I cut out for no reason became the most meaningful thing on the page. And that's what this practice is. You're not making art, you're making God somewhere to meet you while your hands are busy. So in a moment we're going to do this together. So get your journal out, get whatever you've got nearby. And if you've been doing it already while I'm talking and you're watching this video, I'll give you some prompts as we go. But now I just want to share the rest of my pages with you. And as I share them, I'm going to put some music on so you can get into the presence of God. And you can see that this is my sketch and collage journal. It's got some sketches in, it's got some paint, it's got some collage that I've done from magazines, fabric, whatever you have handy. The point of it is just to have fun with God, to create a page, to come back to that page, to add something else. And it's just really good fun. And I think the colours, the textures, the shapes all ignite something in you that God can use as you draw closer to him. Okay, so I'm just going to stop sharing now. And I just want you to think about now. I'm going to give you some questions that you can do in your journal, and take your time over them. And yeah, just listen to what God is saying to you as you write or as you use colours. So if you have got your page out and you've been doing something whilst you were listening to that video, look at the colours that you've reached for without even really thinking. Let me know in the chat what colours you were using and what does that choice tell you about where you are right now. Just notice it, don't judge it, just notice what colours you are using and what that tells you about where you are right now. You know, we can be honest with God as we write these things down. Maybe you are going through a time of loss, a career change, you feel a bit unsettled. Whatever it is, you can pour that all out on the paper and let him know. Okay, the second question is, tear out one word or one image that stops you. Okay, we're going to take a few minutes doing that. I'm going to look through my magazine as well. And I want you to pick out one word or one image that stopped you and ask yourself why. Not at the moment, but just, I want you to stick it down and then I want you to write underneath, God, is this you speaking or is it me? What comes out of that image? Like that boat shape, what came out of that boat shape? That fear that I might have of stepping out the boat, like Peter, and doing something that I'm not comfortable with, trusting in myself rather than trusting in him. So we're going to take some time now looking through our magazine, see if anything jumps out at you. Something just caught my attention there, which was actually, it was a spill of nail varnish. I'm going to tear it out because what it spoke to me is the blood of Christ that was spilled for me. So I'm going to cut it out here live. Let me know in the chat what you are cutting out. Love to know. There you are. Here's my and then stick it in on your page. Some words might have popped out for you as well. Let's find these words. You can see them. See them? It's called Be Inspired. Be Inspired. Actually, I feel like God gives me that inspiration. I'm preparing something for the next April, and I was thinking, why am I thinking so far ahead? Because normally I don't. But I do feel that sometimes he inspires me to do something and he gives me lots of notice. So I was thinking about creating like a letter series, and this grandma going on a journey. So she sends letters out and she goes on this journey around the world. And while she goes on these journeys, she experiences certain things, and certain things remind her of things. Like she might go to parts of Africa and she sees a lion, and that lion makes her think of the lion in the den. And then she asks in the letter, she asks questions. And the reason why I want to do this is that as she goes around these journeys, she she sends postcards and letters and little kind of souvenirs to another friend. And I thought, wouldn't it be nice within the Sketch and Collage Collective that people collected these letters and they collected these postcards and of her journey, and it became like a story that they could share with a friend, and they could share with their grandchild, and it could be something to talk about. I'm all for sharing the gospel in a creative way, opening up those conversations in a very natural way. That's why I like sharing my journals, because someone who doesn't know the Lord can find out something about him through the pictures and the words that I write on those journals. Okay, so how you're all getting on. Let me know in the chat if you have chosen anything. Lisa says, black and white. Don't want to disturb the puppy on my lap to get any colour. That's fine. That's a good reason. Oh, Daphne says resilience. Yeah, that's a good word. Did that jump out at you from the magazine? Okay, so we are now going on to question 3. So if you want to journal about this, where in your life does God feel far away this week? I'll write it as a sentence starting with the word Lord. So that's your prayer. It doesn't need to be beautiful. Spend some time writing it down. Lord, I feel so distracted. That's what I wrote in my journal. I feel so distracted. I'm thinking, as I put down that picture of autumn jobs, I was thinking about all the things I need to do in the garden. And then I was thinking, oh, maybe I should go and get someone to do it for me because I've got so many other things to do. And God was just saying, focus on one thing. I do tend to kind of I don't know whether it's my ADHD brain now. I'm all over the place sometimes, but he's saying focus. And because he is the CEO of my business and of my life, I have to go to him. He has to direct me. Okay, question 4. Now write one line of what you'd want to hear back. Not what you think you should hear, what you actually need. And as I was thinking about that, I was thinking about that bird picture, how, we worry about all sorts of things now. I think it is in Matthew 6 where we say we worry about what we're going to wear and where we're going to live and what we're going to eat and all these sort of things. And yet, the birds are taken care of. And yet doesn't he care for you more? You're more precious, more valuable to him. And like any good father, wants to give you good things. So write down those things, what you need. Okay. Any comments in the chat? Please let me know if you have had any revelation during that time. So if you're watching this live or you're watching on replay, I would really appreciate it if you would like, subscribe and press the bell notification. I haven't got to 1,000 subscribers yet, so if you become my 1,000th one, I'd really, really appreciate it. And share it with your friends as well. yeah, so that when you press those bells and when you press the bell notification, you'll be notified when I publish a new video when I'm going live. Okay, so let me just I want to share, some of you are inside the Sketch and Collage Collective. Let me know in the chat if you are a member. And if you are, if this kind of thing, if you're not a member, if this kind of thing is what you want to do every week, rather than just, whenever I pop up live, which is on a Thursday at 5 p.m. UK time. I'm here in the UK. But if this is something you want to do on a regular basis on your own, then that's what the Sketch and Collage Collective is all about. It's $8 a month. There's a lifetime option as well. And yeah, it's a room full of women who are doing exactly that. So I've left the link down in the description below on YouTube. And I wanted to just share with you the membership, what it looks like inside, so you can see it. So here it is. Hopefully you can all see. If you're a member, you would actually see this is the membership. This is like the members area where they can write comments and share all their work. And you can see people are sharing their stuff here. And then in the learning section, when you click here, this is about the journaling jar, which I will talk about another time. But you can see that inside the collective, let it refresh a bit. It's gone a bit blank here. Why has it gone blank? I'm trying to show you what everything looks like. Yeah, there you are. You can see the interactive journaling jar is there. We've got mini envelopes. Look at all these envelopes. I've cut them out and I've put them together. So if you go here, you can download them and click them. And, I really find it hard sometimes to talk about my faith. I don't know whether you do, but I do sometimes. And I think about my neighbours nearby, how I want to share with them. And I thought, wouldn't it be great if I could get some people around the kitchen table and we can do a folio together and we can talk about Christ, we can bring out Bible verses. And if there was a lady who wasn't a Christian, who's maybe curious about it or actually just feels safer to come and have a cup of tea with you, and you've got all those, your journal, you've got your pens and glue sticks and everything together just around the kitchen table, and it's time for you to kind of do something crafty together and in a very natural way talk about God. Don't you think that's going to have an impact on her? And so I have created a kitchen table guide so that you could do that inside the Sketch and Collage Collective. There's the Canva course, crash course. We've got all these different hacks, like if you want to do a colouring book, or you want to learn about how to do your Canva fonts, all different little tiny hacks there to learn. And then all the kits are inside here. So all you have to do is click on one of these. We're starting in September, and then download it. You just click here. Welcome to this. You will have an explainer video at the top, and then you just have to download it here. And you click there, you can see you can download it and then print it off. And it's as simple as that. Now, what I wanted to share with you guys, since you're live here, I really would like your feedback, is I am struggling to know, should I put devotionals in here? Would that be useful? I didn't want to kind of overwhelm people, but let me know in the chat if you think I should put devotionals inside the Sketch and Collage Collective. because I have that idea, and then I have this letter club, and this series of letters that you can collect, collect the little postcards and the little memorabilia and ephemera that goes with it. Make a page out of that, or send it to a friend, send it to a grandchild or a nephew or something, and it'll be something that you could talk about with them. Maybe they're not being brought up in a Christian home, and you are able to share it without it being, another Bible study lecture. It's something fun that they could do even, and colouring in. We've got Francis. Hi, Francis from Southampton. Oh, you're using a pale watercolour. Okay, that's lovely. And a picture of a lighthouse. And Francis is saying she's trusting God. He wants the best for me. And I tend to feel I just get the strag ends in life. That's so honest. Thank you, Francis, for sharing that. Dragonfly Charmer, I don't know your first name. Let me know what your first name is. Sorry. Yeah, Jennifer's a member. She says, I'm a member and I'm loving it. Funny, but in my journaling on Monday, I too came up with Peter getting out of the boat. Yeah, we have to laugh about that, don't we? Maybe God's trying to tell us something. We've got to get out of our comfort zone. Yeah. Oh, Francis, I think Bless has sent you a link if you want to, because I know there's some problems with it being sterling and dollars and all that sort of thing. But if you check your email, I think Bless would have sent you an email. Okay. Oh, Lisa says yes to devotionals. Okay, I'll get onto that. Yes, we have. Francis is a member of our Creative Sanctuary. So they are devotionals inside there. And I think I'll probably put these will be a bit different, Francis, because I'm going to put sketch and collage kind of things on the back of each devotional. So they'll be slightly different. Less prompts probably, and more things to sketch and collage, if that makes sense. So, but they will be on certain topics. Okay, so I might choose, like, say, a topic like the fruits of the Spirit, say, something like that, or the gifts of the Spirit. I don't know. Well, I'll see where God takes me. Welcome, Ray. Okay. Oh, great. So Jennifer says that she likes the prompts and this first kit has been very inspiring. So thank you, Jennifer. That's good to know. Let me know in the chat which bit you really enjoyed doing, and have any of you been doing the sketching? Now, when I say sketching, some people think, oh, I can't draw to save my life, but maybe you could actually, because there's some pictures in there. Let's get my journal out. There's some line drawings, aren't they? And if you actually trace around them and try doing some sketching, I think you'll be amazed how much you can do. Just give it a go. So look, this was my one. Hopefully you can all see that. Okay, so I think if are there any other questions? Let me know in the chat. If you found this useful and all these prompts, then please share it with others as well, because they might find it useful. I know Frances is doing the September folio in her journal club. She's running a journal club. Is it in a church? I think it's in a church. Or is it a community hall. I can't remember now. And one day I will be going there, not this Friday, but next Friday. I hope that a Friday anyway, I hope to be able to go and see how she's running her journaling club. Does anyone fancy running a journaling club? That's another thing that's been on my mind. Whether anyone would like to create a little kitchen table thing. Do you feel brave enough to do that? Make sure that you check out the kitchen table guide so that you can set something like that around your kitchen table. Let me know in the chat whether you fancy doing that. And you never know, but this might lead to something else. Okay, so when I started doing these sort of like little crafty things around the kitchen table, it then got me into doing other things, and now I'm running this membership. So I think we need to think about, if you don't plant the seeds, the plant won't grow, will it? So you have to start from these small beginnings in order for something more to grow. And maybe God is inspiring you to share it with someone on the campsite if you're on holiday somewhere, or if you are at school, maybe you could do a journaling club at school. And slowly bring in God. I know at some schools you can't really talk about God, but at church you can, obviously. You can hire a church or a community hall or something like that. So Lisa says, guide my clients through journal prompts and mindfulness-based art. Mindfulness-based art. And that sounds lovely. You remember, Lisa, I'd love to see your mindfulness-based art. Please share it if you can. Okay, so this is it. I've been lovely having a chat with you live here on YouTube. So let me know if there's anything else. So Francis meets on Fridays. It's open to anyone. It's at a church in a community room. But anyone can come. I have people of faith and those who are not there yet. Been running it for over a year. That's amazing. So Frances is one of our Creative Sanctuary members. She's prolific in her art. So if you are a member of a Creative Sanctuary, you will see how much she produces. It's amazing how much, how much time she spends with God, really, but in a creative way. Okay, anyway, I am off now. Hi, Auntie Revy. She's here. It's lovely I'm glad you're tuning in as well. Anyway, I am off now. This was only supposed to be 15 minutes and it's over half an hour. But it's been great hanging out with you all. So Jenny's saying, when I made my path to faith for September, I wrote all the hardships I've been going through and used them as stones for the path. I glued the side with the words down, so it's just between me and God. Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, and if you do get a chance to download the envelopes and make them up, you can put those envelopes there and you can write really long prayers and then stick them in the envelopes, can't you? That's what I do, because I don't want people to see all my prayers. That's between me and God, really. But I do like to go back and take them out and remember the prayers that I've written down. So that's another idea if you fancy doing that. Okay, I must go now. You take care. Bye for now. And don't forget to subscribe.